The story of Eid al-Adha goes back to the time of Prophet Ibrahim. Abraham in the Bible, according to Islamic tradition. Ibrahim was a prophet who lived in the ancient city of Ur in Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq. He was a monotheist who believed in one God, and he was known for his devotion and obedience to God. One day, Ibrahim had a dream in which he saw himself slaughtering his son Ismail. This was a disturbing dream, and Ibrahim knew that it was a test from God. He shared the dream with Ismail, who was a young boy at the time. And Ismail told his father that he should do as God had commanded him. So Ibrahim set out to fulfill the dream, taking Ismail with him to the top of a mountain. When they reached the top, Ibrahim told Ismail that God had commanded him to sacrifice his son. Ismail, who had been raised to be obedient to God, agreed to the sacrifice. Ibrahim placed Ismail on a stone and drew his knife, ready to carry out the sacrifice, but just as he was about to strike, God intervened and provided a ram to be sacrificed instead. Ibrahim had passed the test, and this act of obedience and faith was seen as a great example for all Muslims to follow. This story is commemorated every year during Eid al-Adha, which is also known as the Festival of Sacrifice. During this time, Muslims around the world sacrifice an animal, usually a sheep, goat, or cow, to symbolize Ibrahim's willingness to sacrifice his son. The meat from the sacrifice is then divided into three parts. One part is kept by the family, one part is given to friends and neighbors, and one part is given to the poor and needy. Eid al-Adha is also a time for prayer, reflection, and charitable acts. Muslims gather in mosques or outdoor spaces to perform the Eid prayer, which is followed by a sermon. They also visit family and friends and exchange gifts and greetings. The holiday lasts for 3 days, and it is a time for Muslims to come together and celebrate their faith and their commitment to God.
Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there was a magical kingdom called Enchantia. Enchantia was a place filled with breathtaking landscapes, towering castles, and colorful gardens. It was a kingdom where fairy tales came to life. In Enchantia, there lived a group of friends who were as unique as the stories they loved. There was Lily, a kind-hearted fairy who could make flowers bloom with a wave of her wand. Oliver, a brave young knight with a heart of gold, always ready to protect his friends. Mia, a mischievous gnome with a knack for clever tricks and riddles. And finally, there was Leo, a wise old dragon who could breathe fire and shared his wisdom with anyone who would listen. One sunny morning, as the friends gathered in the meadow, they stumbled upon a hidden path that led to a secret library. The library was filled with books of every shape, size, and color, each containing a different fairy tale waiting to be discovered. Excitedly, they began to explore the magical library. Lily found a book about a princess who was trapped in a tower and needed rescuing. Oliver discovered a book about a magical sword that could defeat any evil. Mia stumbled upon a book about a mischievous leprechaun who hid pots of gold at the end of rainbows. Leo found a book about a lost kingdom that could only be found by following a trail of stars. As they turned the pages and read the stories aloud, something extraordinary happened. The characters from the book started to come alive. The princess appeared before Lily, the magical sword materialized in Oliver's hand, the mischievous leprechaun danced around Mia, and the lost kingdom shimmered in the distance for Leo to see. Realizing the incredible power they held, the friends decided to use their newfound abilities to bring happiness and magic to the people of Enchantia. Lily used her fairy magic to create beautiful gardens where flowers bloomed in every color of the rainbow. Oliver protected the kingdom from any harm, ensuring the safety of its people. Mia played her tricks on those who were too serious, reminding them to laugh and enjoy life. And Leo shared his wisdom with everyone, guiding them on their own magical adventures. Word of the friends' magical deeds spread throughout the kingdom, and soon, children from far and wide came to Enchantia to hear their stories and meet the characters that had come to life. The friends welcomed each visitor with open arms, sharing their love for fairy tales and spreading joy to all. And so, in Enchantia, the friends lived happily ever after, using the power of fairy tales to make the world a more enchanting place. They taught everyone that with a little imagination, kindness, and a touch of magic, anything is possible. And the stories of Enchantia continue to inspire generations to believe in the power of dreams and the magic that lies within their own hearts. Once upon a time, there was a greedy rabbit named Rascal. He lived in a beautiful forest where he had plenty of food to eat, but he was never satisfied. He always wanted more and more food, even if he didn't need it. One day, Rascal saw a delicious carrot in the garden of a farmer. He wanted it so badly that he decided to sneak into the garden at night to steal it. However, when he got there, he saw that there were many more carrots, and he couldn't resist the temptation to take them all. He ate and ate until he was so full that he couldn't move. As he lay there, he realized that he had been too greedy and that he should have only taken what he needed. He felt ashamed of himself and knew that he had to make things right. The next day, Rascal went back to the farmer's garden and apologized for stealing his carrots. He promised that he would never do it again and offered to help the farmer with his work. The farmer forgave Rascal and allowed him to work in the garden. Rascal learned that it was better to be honest and work hard than to be greedy and selfish. The moral of the story is that greediness can lead to bad consequences, and it is important to be satisfied with what we have and not take more than we need.